Bonjour and welcome to my channel. I'm Esther, I'm a relocation agent and apartment hunter in France. I've been working with expat clients for over 6 years now. I decided to start this channel to answer the questions I get asked daily and to help people navigate the French real estate market and make settling easier in general. Make sure you stay until the end of the video. I will give you my best practices and tips in order to secure an apartment fast and in a secure way in France. In today's video, I'm going to guide you through the main steps of renting an apartment in France. Before starting the search, you have to make sure that you know exactly what you're looking for. You need to fix a budget you're willing to spend monthly on a rent, and also you will need to know when you're willing to start the lease. Now that you know what you're looking for, you can start the search. Let's see the steps you will need to follow in order to rent a place in France. First one, you need to build a dossier. The dossier is basically the backbone of any viable application. This is your application file that you will send to landlords and agencies. This has to contain your identification, passport or carte de séjour, your visa. You will also have to include your payslips for the last 3 months, as well as your work contract, your 2 last tax returns, and also it's better to include a bank statement. If you're a freelancer or independent, you will most probably want to show the landlord and the agency that you have a stable income, that you have a stable financial situation, so you're willing to prove even more that you have active contracts with clients, that you've been working for years. So you will want to make sure to build a very, very strong dossier, putting everything you can, proving your stable income. In France, it's completely normal for the landlords and the agencies to ask you for this personal information. You will also need a guarantor. You have 3 types of guarantors. It can be an individual, a family member or a very good friend who is a French tax resident who can co-sign your lease with you, and in case you fail to pay the rent, they are going to take over, so this reassures the agency and the landlord and they will be more willing to rent you the place. If you don't have a French guarantor, if you don't know anyone in France who is willing to co-sign your lease with you, you can use a private guarantor, which is Guarantor or SMARTFLATZ. Put the names and the links to these companies in the description so you can check it for yourself. They have fees that you will have to pay upfront. Their fees are between 4.3 and 4.5% annually that you will only have to pay once upon the signature of your lease. But where to find listings? SoLoger, Le Bon Coin, and PAP. You will find most of the real estate listings on these 3 websites. You can also download the application Jinka. This is an app that gathers all the listings from all over the internet. Now that you have found apartments that you like, you will want to contact the agencies. My advice would be to always try and call them. They are way more responsive by phone than they are in messages. It's a very tight market. The competition is just huge. You will want to make sure that you are among the first people to call and try and schedule an apartment. That's why my advice would be to always call. You can obviously send a message as well, but they are more likely to answer calls than messages, as they have a lot of demand. Once you found the listing that you like, now you will have to understand the listing itself. You will see the price of the apartment, the rent of the apartment. This basically includes mostly the rent, cold water and building charges. In almost all cases, you will have to set up your own electricity, which will come on top of the price that you see on the listing. Internet is almost never included, so you will have to count between 30 and 40 euros monthly for internet and phone plan. Now that you have a listing that you like and you also understood the price, you can start and call the agency. In order to help you with that, I put some vocabulary in the description so you can easily schedule your appointment. Great, now you have a viewing. If you get a viewing, you always want to make sure to arrive on time. They most usually give you a slot between 5 to 10 minutes. So if you're late, you will most probably just miss out on that apartment. If you like the apartment, you want to make sure to send your dossier immediately after the viewing. Ask the landlord or the agency, depending on who you were visiting with, their email address so that you can send your dossier right after the viewing. Now comes the hardest part, which is waiting. You put in your application, Now they have your dossier and they are reviewing it, hopefully. You will want to be very persistent and you will want to follow up. You should call, text them, email them to make sure that they received your documents and that they are reviewing it, and always tell them that you'd be happy to provide more information or more documents if needed. If you're not selected for an apartment, it's possible that you will never hear back from them. Sometimes agencies will only call back the person they selected and won't take the time to call back everyone who sent their application in. If you're selected for an apartment, that's amazing. Congratulations. And if you're not, don't give up, stay positive. You really have to make sure to view as many apartments as possible, to schedule as many viewings as possible, and to send as many dossiers as possible. You will eventually secure an apartment for yourself. Let's see my personal advices regarding the apartment search. First, you want to make sure that all of your documents are watermarked. It is very, very easy to get scammed in France when you're looking for an apartment, so you want to make sure that you watermark your documents and you protect yourself. You should never, ever pay anyone anything before seeing the apartment and signing the lease. Even if the listing seems legit, it most probably isn't if they ask you for an upfront payment. Ask the owner or the agency for a proof of property. You want to make sure that the landlord is the actual owner of the apartment and you are not getting scammed. The French real estate market is extremely tight, so you want to make sure that if you view an apartment, you seem enthusiastic, even if there is only a little chance that you are willing to take this apartment. You can always say no later, but always seem enthusiastic when viewing an apartment to give yourself all the chances to get the place. I hope this video helped. Feel free to leave a comment if you have anything to add, and see you in the next video. Bye!